The Making of a Manager by Zhuo. Picture this for a moment. There's a young woman just 25 years old working at one of the fastest-growing startups in the world, a little place called Facebook. She started as an intern, actually the very first engineering intern they ever hired. Through talent, hard work, and honestly a bit of luck, she's landed on the design team. She's thriving. Everyone likes her. Then one day, her manager pulls her into a conference room and drops this on her. "Our team is growing. We need another manager." What do you think? What would you say? It's a promotion, the logical next step, the thing you're supposed to want, right? So she says yes. Fast forward a few days. She walks into that same conference room for her very first one-on-one with someone who's now her direct report. Just yesterday they were peers. Friends. Sitting side by side, cracking jokes, bouncing design ideas off each other. Today, she's his boss. She walks in, doing her best to play it cool, pretending her heart isn't racing. He glances up from his phone, and the look on his face is something she'll never forget. Imagine a sulky teenager being dragged to his little cousin's birthday party. That level of enthusiasm, his scowl could freeze lava. She tries to break the ice. "So, what are you working on right now?" The scowl deepens. The silence is absolutely deafening. And right then, a thought screams through her mind so loudly, it might as well be spray-painted across the walls. You have absolutely no idea what you're doing. And honestly, in that moment, she knew he was thinking the exact same thing. That young woman was Zhuo. The journey from that gut-punch moment of complete self-doubt to eventually becoming vice president of product design at Facebook, leading a team that shaped the experience for over 2 billion people. That's the heart of her remarkable book, The Making of a Manager. This isn't your typical business book drowning in pie charts and corporate speak. This is a field guide from someone who's been in the trenches. It's sold hundreds of thousands of copies and resonated with everyone from Silicon Valley executives to first-time managers at tiny nonprofits, because it tackles the question that haunts anyone suddenly put in charge. What on earth do I actually do when everyone's looking at me? By the time we're done here, you're going to understand the simple but life-changing difference between being a boss and being a leader. You'll walk away with a framework for making solid decisions, giving feedback that actually helps people grow, and building teams people genuinely want to be part of. This isn't just about managing at work. It's about learning to lead in every corner of your life. Once you've got this skill, it serves you forever. So let's dive in with the most important idea in the entire book, a belief so powerful it changes everything. Great managers are made, not born. So what actually is a manager? Before becoming one, Julie thought the job was basically having meetings, giving feedback, and deciding who gets promoted or fired. Sounds about right, doesn't it? It's what we see in the movies, the classic idea of a boss. But this understanding is completely backwards. It's like saying a chef's job is using knives and turning on stoves. Sure, those are activities they do, but it completely misses the point. To really get management, Julie offers us a beautifully simple analogy. Imagine you start a lemonade stand. In the beginning, it's just you. You're buying the lemons, squeezing them, mixing in the sugar, setting up the table, making the sign, pouring every single cup. If the lemonade tastes terrible, that's on you. If the sign looks like a kindergartner made it, well, that's also on you. You're in complete control. Nothing happens unless you make it happen. But then something wonderful happens. Your lemonade is a massive hit. There's a line around the block. You physically cannot squeeze lemons fast enough. So you recruit your friends Henry and Eliza to help out. Congratulations, you're now a manager. Notice what just shifted. The goal hasn't changed. You still want to run an amazing lemonade business. But how you achieve that goal has fundamentally transformed. Your job is no longer to be the absolute best lemonade maker. Your job is to get better outcomes from a group of people working together. This is the essence of management. It's the belief that a team can achieve vastly more than any individual working alone. Your job as a manager isn't to do the work yourself, even if you're the absolute best at it. Your job is to multiply your team's effectiveness. If you can personally sell 20 cups an hour, that's great. But if you spend that hour teaching Henry and Eliza to sell 16 cups instead of 15, you've just created a system that sells thousands of extra cups over the year. Your impact isn't just additive anymore, it's multiplicative. So how do you actually do that? How do you become this multiplier? Julie says that everything a manager does, every task, every meeting, every decision, falls into one of three buckets. Think of them as three levers you can pull to make your team amazing: purpose, people, and process. Purpose is the why. It's the outcome your team is trying to achieve. Why does this work even matter? For the lemonade stand, is the purpose creating a friendly neighborhood hangout? Or building a lemonade empire with stands on every corner? If your team isn't aligned on the why, you'll have people accidentally working against each other. The manager's job is making sure everyone has a clear, inspiring picture of what success looks like and genuinely cares about reaching it. People is the who. Do you have the right people? Do they have the skills they need? Are they motivated? Are they in roles that play to their strengths? You can have the most inspiring purpose imaginable, but if the people aren't set up to succeed, you'll fail. The manager's job is to recruit, develop, and keep a talented, collaborative group of individuals. Finally, process is the how. How does your team actually work together? How do you make decisions? How do you share information? Who does what, and by when? Without solid process, even a talented team with crystal clear purpose will descend into chaos. Think about the lemonade stand. How does Henry know when to buy more lemons? How does Eliza learn the secret recipe? Good process is what lets the team operate smoothly and efficiently. Purpose, people, and process. The why, the who, and the how. That's it. A great manager constantly asks themselves, which of these three levers can I pull right now to help my team get better results? Now, this all sounds fantastic in theory, but what happens when you're brand new? What happens when you're standing in that conference room, heart pounding, facing that scowling new report? Julie says your first 3 months as a manager aren't about having all the answers. They're about one thing: learning. This is your grace period. Nobody expects instant expertise. Your primary job is to listen, ask questions, and build trust. Especially if you are promoted from within what she calls the apprentice path. The dynamic with your former peers is going to feel weird. The friendships shift. You used to vent together about problems. Now you're supposed to solve them. You used to offer suggestions. Now your feedback carries the weight of evaluation. This transition is awkward, and you have to lean into that awkwardness. You need to have conversations that feel uncomfortable. You need to ask a friend things like, what are your career goals? How can I help you get there? These weren't conversations you had before, but they're the foundation of your new relationship. The most valuable currency you have as a manager is trust. Without it, you have nothing. Your reports will never tell you what's really happening. They'll hide mistakes. They'll say everything's fine, right up until they hand in their resignation. So how do you build trust? There's no magic formula. You build trust with your team the same way you build it with anyone in life. You show them you genuinely care about them as people, not just employees. You invest your most precious resource, your time, in helping them succeed, and you're honest and transparent, especially about their performance. This is where the one-on-one meeting becomes the most crucial tool in your arsenal. It's sacred time. It's not a status update that can happen over email. A great one-on-one is entirely focused on your report. It's their meeting, not yours. Your job is to listen and ask good questions like, what's top of mind for you right now? What's the hardest part of your work this week? What can I do to help you be more successful? And sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is admit your own struggles. To say, you know what? I've dealt with that exact problem. Here's how I completely messed it up. Or, honestly, I don't know the answer. What do you think? This wasn't intuitive for Julie at first. She thought leaders were supposed to have all the answers, to project unwavering confidence. But she learned that vulnerability isn't weakness. As she puts it, vulnerability sounds like truth and feels like courage. When you show up as a human being with your own flaws and fears, you give your team permission to do the same. That's where real connection and real trust begins. Once you've built that foundation of trust, you can do the work that truly multiplies your team's ability, the art of feedback. Most of us are terrible at giving feedback. We're terrified of hurting feelings, so we either say nothing or soften the message so much it becomes useless. Julie talks about the dreaded compliment sandwich, saying something nice, sliding in the criticism, then ending with another nice thing. It's a technique we're often taught, but it's awful. It feels fake, and the real message gets lost. Great feedback, Julie argues, is a gift. It's one of the most valuable things you can give someone. But to be a gift, it has to be helpful. And to be helpful, it needs to be clear, specific, and delivered with genuine intention to help the person succeed. She breaks it down into types. There's task-specific feedback, which you should give constantly. This is about the what, not the who. It's not, you're bad at presentations. It's, in this morning's presentation, you jumped straight to the proposal without explaining the problem first. Next time, try setting the context so people can follow your thinking. See the difference? It's specific, actionable, and focused on the work. Then there's behavioral feedback. This is about patterns you notice over time. It's more personal, so handle it with care. It's connecting dots. I've noticed in meetings you often sound defensive when people ask questions about your work. Yesterday, when Sally commented on your code, you said, "Just trust me." This can make it seem like you're not open to collaboration. This kind of feedback, delivered from a place of care with specific examples, can be transformative. It helps people see their blind spots. But the most important rule of feedback is this: every major disappointment is a failure to set expectations. If the first time someone hears they're not meeting expectations is during their annual review, you've failed them as a manager. Performance reviews should summarize things you've already discussed many times. There should be zero surprises. If someone wants a promotion but you don't think they're ready, don't wait 6 months to tell them. Tell them now. Say, I want to help you get there. Here are the specific gaps I see, and let's build a plan together to close them. By setting expectations early and clearly, you turn disappointment into a roadmap for growth. Of course, to do all this, build trust, give great feedback, set clear expectations, you have to manage the most difficult person of all, yourself. This is where Julie gets incredibly honest about her struggles. She talks about imposter syndrome, that nagging feeling that you don't belong, that you're a fraud, and any day now everyone will figure it out. This feeling is completely normal. Every manager, every leader, no matter how successful, feels like an imposter sometimes. Why? Because the job constantly forces you to do things you've never done before. You can't practice firing someone on weekends. You learn by doing the real, hard, scary thing. The antidote to imposter syndrome isn't pretending to be perfect. It's adopting what Stanford professor Carol Dweck calls a growth mindset. A fixed mindset believes your abilities are set in stone. You're either good at something or you're not. So every challenge becomes a test you might fail, proving you're not good enough. A growth mindset believes you can improve at anything with effort. Every challenge isn't a test. It's an opportunity to learn. Failure isn't a verdict on your worth. It's a stepping stone to improvement. With a fixed mindset, you hide mistakes. With a growth mindset, you ask for feedback on them. With a fixed mindset, you say, I can't do that. With a growth mindset, you say, I can't do that yet. This shift in perspective changes everything. It lets you approach your weaknesses with curiosity instead of fear. It gives you courage to ask for help, admit when you're wrong, and see every stumble as part of the journey. As your team grows, your role has to evolve. When you're leading a few people, you're in the details. You're a player coach. But when your team grows to 10, 20, 50 people, you can't be in every meeting. You can't review every piece of work. Your job shifts from doing to delegating. And delegation, Julie says, is a terrifying tightrope walk. On one side, you have the micromanager. Too involved. They dictate every detail, second-guess every decision, don't give their team room to breathe. The team becomes demoralized and dependent, unable to move without approval. On the other side, there's the absentee manager. Too hands-off. They delegate a problem, then disappear. The team feels abandoned and unsupported. They lack direction in coaching. Great delegation is walking that tightrope. Knowing when to dive into details and when to step back and trust. The secret? You shouldn't be delegating tasks. You should be delegating outcomes. A micromanager says, I need you to do X, Y, and Z. A great delegator says, here's the situation. The outcome we need is solving problem A. I trust you and your team to figure out the best way. How can I support you? You're giving away the problem, not the solution. This empowers your team to own the outcome, be creative, and grow. One of the hardest lessons for a leader is giving away your Legos. Letting go of things you love doing, or are even best at, to create space for others to step up. Every time you successfully delegate, you're not just clearing your plate, you're creating a new leader. As you lead more people, your ultimate responsibility becomes shaping team culture. Culture isn't about free snacks or inspirational posters. Culture, as one of Julie's colleagues told her, is defined by what your organization is willing to give up for its values. If you say you value transparency, are you willing to share bad news openly, even when it's hard? If you say you value work-life balance, will you promote someone who leaves at 5 every day over someone who works until midnight? Your team's culture gets shaped every day by small signals you send. It's shaped by who you hire, who you promote, what you celebrate. It's shaped by how you run meetings. Do you encourage debate or reward people who just agree with you? It's shaped by how you react to failure. Do you punish mistakes, creating fear, or treat them as learning opportunities, creating growth? One powerful way to shape culture is through rituals. At Facebook, they have hackathons, where for a few days, people work on any idea they're passionate about. This ritual sends a powerful message. We value bottom-up innovation and building things quickly. These traditions, repeated over time, become the living embodiment of your values. Ultimately, the manager's journey is about letting go of needing to be the smartest person in the room, letting go of needing all the answers, letting go of controlling every detail. It's a journey of shifting focus from your success to others, success from me to we. And it's a journey that, as Julie reminds us, is always only 1% finished. There's always more to learn, always another way to grow, always another opportunity to help people around you become the best versions of themselves. When you step back and look at the making of a manager, you realize it's about so much more than a job title. At its heart, this is a book about growth, the messy, awkward, and ultimately beautiful process of becoming a leader. What makes Julie Zhuo's perspective so powerful is her profound humility. She doesn't position herself as some management guru born with all the answers. She presents herself as a student, someone who learned through trial and error, made countless mistakes, and is still learning every day. That vulnerability makes the book relatable, and its lessons genuinely resonate. The central idea that great managers are made, not born, is one of the most empowering messages in the world of work. It demystifies leadership. It takes it off the pedestal and puts it within reach of anyone willing to care enough and work hard enough to learn the craft. You don't need a certain personality type. You don't need to be extroverted. You don't need an MBA from a fancy school. You just need the desire to help people achieve something remarkable together. The Purpose, People, Process framework is elegantly simple and incredibly practical. It's a mental model for almost any situation. If your team is struggling, you can usually trace the problem to a breakdown in one of those three areas. Is our purpose unclear? Do we have the wrong people, or are they unmotivated? Is our process broken? It gives you a diagnostic tool to figure out where to focus. But for me, the most profound part is the emphasis on the inner journey of leadership, the chapter on managing yourself. The recognition that you can't effectively lead others until you can lead yourself. The discussions around imposter syndrome and growth mindset are critical, not just for managers, but for anyone navigating career challenges and, frankly, life. It's a powerful reminder that our greatest obstacle often isn't the external world. It's the internal critic in our own heads. So how can you start applying these ideas right now, even without a manager title? First, next time you're working on a group project, whether for school or a club, think about purpose, people, and process. Ask the group, what's our goal here? What does success actually look like? Who's doing what? How will we communicate? Just asking these questions will instantly make your group more effective. You'll be practicing management without realizing it. Second, practice giving good feedback. Make it a goal this week to give one person, a friend, teammate, family member, specific, positive, task-based feedback. Not just, good job, but, when you explained that concept in class today, the analogy you used made it really clear for me. Thank you for that. You'll be practicing a skill that improves every relationship in your life. Third, pay attention to your own mindset. When you face a setback, notice the story you tell yourself. Is it a fixed mindset story? I'm just not good at this? Can you reframe it with a growth mindset? This is hard, and I haven't figured it out yet, but I can learn? This simple shift unlocks incredible resilience and potential. That was our deep dive into The Making of a Manager by Julie Zhuo. We've explored the core principles, but honestly, a summary can only scratch the surface. The real magic of a great book is in those quiet reading moments when a particular story or simple phrase connects with you unexpectedly. This summary is meant to be a map, showing you the terrain and helping you decide if this is a journey worth taking. If anything we've talked about today has sparked something in you, I genuinely encourage you to grab a copy. Reading it isn't just about learning concepts. It's an experience that can truly change how you see leadership, work, and even yourself. There's a link in the description below. Also, if you found this valuable, please take a moment to hit that like button and subscribe. It lets me know this work is helpful and ensures you won't miss our next exploration into another life-changing book. Let's keep learning and growing together.